mentioned they're taking a long time, a lot of discussion, and to me that says Meet Your Makers have prepared for this game and they really want to win this. Like, this is a pride thing for them, and busting out new champions, it really could happen.
Well, let's see then. Final two picks here for Gambit. We're going to see what Alex is going to be running up against Charu's Twisted Fate in that middle lane. And they were hovering over Fizz earlier on, which we've seen Fizz versus Twisted Fate is a fun time for a Fizz.
Yeah, for a Fizz. Oh, wow. So you might actually go on more global presence with a Karthus, but I'm thinking about Meet Your Maker's side. And Udyr, I'm not going to say it's not going to be picked, but most likely won't be picked just in terms of you're against a Varus ultimate, against a Nautilus, but you're against so much CC, which in the game previously he was not. So he was able to get in there, and most teams that run a lot of CC against Gambit, when they do run an Udyr, just shut him down completely. So
it's actually going to be a Zed that Alex Ich goes for. You know, the Zed Kha'Zix were both very, very strong in the spring split coming out for Alex Ich, and it looks like he's going to go for that Zed to go up against Charu. And Libic actually going in for the Fiddlestick. So Fiddlestick's becoming more and more popular as we go along. And let's not forget that Zyra was available to be picked in this one, something that Libic has gone for most of the time, and that's where he's had most success as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that you're going for like an AoE composition, but you go for Fiddlesticks against an Ezreal because the grass roots are really hard to hit on a Zyra against an Ezreal, so you're going to be able to fear him, silence him. He can't obviously Arcane Shift when that happens. It's all going to come down to Alex. Like, if he can get his combo on Mackler without being feared, it's going to be very deadly. Mackler would just explode.
Well, we're going to be finding out here. This, of course, is our final game of the day. Gambit versus Meet Your Makers. And Gambit looking to regain that streak of wins that they had coming up until last week, of course, where they lost both with that substitute Spontex in the top lane for them. But they certainly looked on form earlier on in the day when they took down Alternate. I think 22 minutes it was in the end. I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that's the fastest game we've seen so far.
I think you're right, actually. I mean, it was just so one-sided. You knew it was going to end that early. And I'm kind of thinking about how this game's going to go a little bit. And every time we see Kennen, I always try to mention that if you shut him down early, his ultimate's not really going to do anything throughout the game, unless it's obviously like 40, 50 minutes in like we had previously. But I think Diamond actually will be ganking that top lane relatively early on the Kuban. So you have the Shen taunt, so you're going to lock him down. And if Kuban gets shut down like we've seen before, Meet Your Maker seems to just peril from that, or go into peril from that.
Yeah, they seem to have a few problems if that kind of thing comes along further down the line. But Gambit, now they're looking to catch up with Alternate. They could have the same amount of wins after this game, and that would be a big thing going into tomorrow's play.
I mean, yeah, currently in second place after starting not that strong, but honestly, being tied with Alternate right now or having the same amount of wins is definitely a big feat for them. And we'll see if they can continue this dominance throughout the rest of the spring split. Because remember, there's only a couple weeks, oh, not a couple weeks, but they're like halfway through the season already, and you have the World Finals at stake. First through 6 are getting to the playoffs. Obviously, the higher position you are, the better chance you're going to have. And we'll see if they're able to do that.
So here we go then, in-game with Gambit versus Meet Your Makers. Let's see how this one all goes off. Let's talk a little bit first of all about level 1, because we have been seeing quite a lot of action going down at level 1 during these games. You can see that Diamond's like, I'm not going bear stance first, guys. You can forget about that stun at level 1. I'm straight into the Tiger.
Exactly, and I think Meet Your Makers have a stronger team just in terms of having that Fiddlesticks on Libic, having that silence where the entire team's grouped up against it. You're going to get shut down right away. So Meet Your Makers, they rush straight into this bush. Genja was there, though, so they know it's going to happen, and they know they can pretty much prevent this invade if they do put some wards down. As you see, Darren actually heading down from the top side, so it looks like they want to contest this.
Certainly does. We see Genja backing away. He knew that Meet Your Makers were coming into that tri-bush. And we're now headed down towards Red Buff, and it looks like we are going to see an encounter from this one. There was actually Darker just showing himself there, not quite able to land that hook. And Meet Your Makers back away from the Gambit jungle. They got that ward down here inside the Death Bush, so they saw Alex Ich actually coming down the river, possibly in towards the side of them. And in the end, not going to be seeing anything here, it looks like, for level 1.
But still very aggressive out of Meet Your Makers. I don't think they've actually been that aggressive until obviously this week. So it shows they're trying to change things around. But we're going to have normal starts here. And actually, Diamond's going to be starting blue. So it looks like he'll be trying to get bottom off this, unless he wants to go for a counter jungle, which against against Nautilus, you easily can do.
Easily can do that, Udyr, especially starting with Doran's Blade and having a good, strong, hard start from your teammates there, really going to help him out with that one. But Meet Your Makers have actually come back into the Gambit jungle here. Funny thing is, after all that, Gambit didn't actually ward their red buff.
And it's going to get stolen away. Actually, good job by Mutual Makers. They committed a pink ward, though, over towards the middle side of the map, and that means Libic only has that ghost ward and a green ward bottom, so it can be very susceptible to ganks. Actually, Gambit will know this is happening, though, because they have that ward there. And in the meantime, you did see Darker ward up the blue buff of Mutual Makers, and we're looking at Diamondprox. He will be going across the jungle. He actually will be spotted, though, by that ward, I believe.
Oh, Darker here actually is going to get pushed onto by Makata. Charu's coming around the side. He is going to pull the stun card, and Darker might fall foul to this. Actually will be forced to burn his flash there and gets over into the red pit to stay safe. Diamond has, as we said, though, gone straight in for that red buff.
Oh, Genja and Makler going head-to-head here, getting very low for both of them, but that was actually a great flash coming out of Darker. They're able to escape, and Genja can arcane shift out of that, as he actually just hit level 2 as well, so he actually could have been pushed out if he wasn't able to escape that. But now Alex is getting ganked here already by Makati, who hasn't even picked up his blue, so he's actually going to be very far behind with Diamond counter-jungling him.
There is that Tiger going to work on the Wraith right now. They've got a ward on this blue buff right now. Diamond did already use his red, so not really a chance of him coming around to steal another buff from them. But Genja in this bottom lane, you heard him there just getting low from this one. His icon on the left-hand side is flashing right now, and he needs to be real careful there. The silence coming out from Libic, an awkward bounce from that could spell danger.
Yeah, so, and that's what's so strong about Fiddle, is if you get the two champions standing next to each other, it's going to do a lot of damage to them. But Darren pushed up Kuban towards the top, so they're going to go for a dive here.
They are going to go for a two-man dive. Are they going to be able to get in on towards Kuban? Has actually left his turret, flash back in. Taunt going to land. Diamond taking a lot of damage. Is he going to go back into this one? He's going very, very low from that. Won't actually die up until now, but Kuban doing a great job of holding that one down.
I was so close. I was wondering why he was running away from the turret right there, but he got both of them committed under it and flashed back in, took the stun. But either way, Makati's going to be doing a little bit of counter jungling himself. And I don't think he's actually been towards the top side of his jungle, so he didn't know, well, obviously didn't know that went down, but it doesn't matter. In 3.8, the jungle camp spawn 10 seconds quicker, so not going to affect him too much.
Not going to be too bad for him, as we are going to see Alex here putting down good damage on towards Charu. Kata had come in just in case Alex decided to commit a little bit more to that fight, which you wouldn't expect really out of Zed at this kind of level. He's forced Charu away from the lane, which is going to be his big thing here, and actually has a 10 CS lead, got that elixir on him as well, so he's looking for some big plays at the early levels.
The thing is, if Alex hits 6 quicker than Charu, he's going to blow him up, so this is not really good for Charu. He's going to teleport back though, so don't miss out on too much CS here. And we did see actually Genji go back as well. Only picked up a couple of health pots, so that just shows the dominance that Mutual Makers already has. This Diamond, he's eyeing that big wraith, but it's not there.
Actually going around the side here, thanks to that vision, knew he could stay out of range. He's going to get the stun down onto Makata, and here we see that Doran's Blade once again in action. Makata down to half HP without really anything being done.
That Tiger stance is just so strong right now, and I feel bad for everyone in solo queue because that's going to start coming out again, especially when the Spirit Guard Udyr does get released. But he's actually looking towards his top side. He wants to make something happen. Like, he realizes if he shuts Kennen down, they're going to do very well, and he's up there for the second time.
And Makata is just recalling here, so this could be very, very interesting. Charu just puts himself a ward down to stay safe, but Diamond is still waiting down in the bottom lane though. Makla taking a lot of damage. Genja actually going to get feared up here. This is going to be some good damage coming back across, but not got quite enough there. Double Doran's Blade from Makla means that he is going to be a threat, especially when he starts to proc those stacks of light.
I'm looking at CS and I'm amazed to see that Genja's ahead, considering he got pressured so early on.
Yeah.
He got pushed out level 2. He's actually still has a lead. I don't know if that's a mistake out of MYM or if that's just Genja super farming at this point. Either way, Diamond still is stealing away another Wraith, and he's really trying to hold Makade back, which in terms of levels he's currently doing. At 20 minutes in their game earlier on today, he had a 4-level advantage over the enemy jungler.
Yeah, amazing, amazing stuff right now as Makata headed down towards bottom. Let's see if he can actually do anything there. There's a ward for his team, but nothing from Gambit, so they're not going to know that he's actually there right now, but can he make the impact? Can he get the hook, basically, is the question that we're going to answer. And there is the answer to it. He walks away and decides, nope, not going to be able to get in for that.
He's going back for a little bit. Actually, just going to go ward up a little bit here, just to show or see where Alex is going to go. Because we mentioned, in the heads up between him and Charu, he likes to roam around and pick up kills where Charu will either teleport in or just keep farming to where he'll split push later on. And they know if they can keep Alex behind a little bit, that's a huge chunk of their damage. But with the way Diamond's going, with the Tiger stance, he hurts so bad.
Right now, Kuban has forced this big wave of minions. Let's see how Darian's going to handle these underneath his turret, which he'd be expecting that he's going to do a good job of. And actually went back in there, taking damage from Kuban, though. whilst he goes. And Kuban's doing a good job of keeping that pressure down. He's got a ward in the top of the river.
He's waiting for his Ignite.
Yeah, that Ignite is going to be coming up here, but is he going to go for it? It's still a risky play. He is level 6, though. He chunks a bit more damage from Darian. He wisely now is backing away completely.
That would have been a kill for Kuban if he went in with that Ignite up. And now Darian's actually sticking around as Diamond comes in. The flash top misses.
Wow, Darian taking a lot of damage and will go down for this one. That's a massive miscalculation coming out of Gambit. And Diamond, I'm sure, is wondering what just happened there. His flash was available if he wanted to get in for that flash stun, but credit to Kuban, what a turnaround.
And you see even Darian shaking his head right there like, oh, I messed that up so bad, but you don't want to get a Kennen fed as Alex still pressuring Char right here. He's level 7, so we could see the all-in come very soon here as Makate is trying to come around. Makler getting very low. Makate's coming down though.
Makate is coming down. He's going to come through as we are going to see Twisted Fate. He is now level 6. He's going to get involved on this bottom lane. He's going to get the stun card onto Darker. Here comes Stan United though, and they're going to try and turn this one around. Darian going in forward. There's Makata on the backside. He's out of position, but he's going to be able to catch Darker here. It's Makler that picks up the kill. Now Genji getting feared. He needs to be careful. They continue to turn around as they kill Makata off. And now Darian is not finished. He wants a bit of revenge, I think we can call it, from that first blood going down. In the end, it will all end there, but another insane exchange in this bottom lane.
The thing was, it was a trade of support for a jungler. So in the end, I think Gambit actually came out ahead in that because you look at levels right now, Diamond 5-4. He's taking his own red here, so he pretty much controlled his own red. He's going to get his own blue because obviously his Zed doesn't need it. And if he counter jungles Makate on that red buff again, he's going to hold him so far behind. His Makler unfortunately misses that Varus ultimate. And the thing is, they're so hard to hit, but when you land them, they work out so well for you.
That was pretty close as well. I mean, Genji in the end, he was at max range, so he kind of spotted that one coming and just kind of sidestepped it in the end and said, nope, not today. A couple of wards going down on that bottom side of the map now from Meet Your Makers. Want to make sure that they've got vision of Dragon, and that blue buff is going to be started off. It's Libic that will kick that one off. Charu, of course, will be the man to actually take it here once that is taking enough damage. He's got double Doran's Ring right now, headed up towards that Seeker's Arm Guard here as well by the looks of things. As Makler actually getting caught out in that bottom lane. Here comes the teleport though, and they're going to try and turn this one on its head. And there is a snipe coming through. Makler is still very low, but it's Charu that picks up the kill. Well, here comes the bear from the side. He's going to stun and kill Makler, and now they're going to go for Charu as well as the hook lands onto him. He's stunned, the box goes down. Stun card comes in on towards Diamond. Have they got the damage and speed to go through? There's a flash in. Charu is still alive. He gets thrashed down by Darker though, and that will be a 2-for-1. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Alexic going all in there to get the kill on Makata.
I don't even know where to start for that.
Wow. Just wow.
You had Charu ulti down there, help pick up the kill in a Darker. Then he teleports back down there. That's why he takes the teleport. It's Twisted Fate. You don't think you need that teleport, but it worked out for them in the beginning. And obviously, Diamond was able to pick up some kills here. But just seriously, wow. And Alex being able to 1v1 Makate, who's now level 5 and Diamond's level 7. That just shows how Diamond, he's just around the map constantly. He's counter jungling like crazy. And the ganks that he does commit to usually end up in kills.
You see those switches of stance coming out. Diamond keeping up the damage there. That turret almost going down from that little push alone. And it's a scary little push as well. I'll give him that at least. I saw how strong Diamond was earlier on. He's 2-0-0 right now as well. So starting as he means to go and as he kind of left off in that last game earlier on against Alternate.
If he keeps going at this rate, Diamond's going to be almost unkillable. Obviously, Makler, he has the ability to do the true damage, percent true damage, but I mean, Diamond's going to be so fast. Mix it in with Darian, who is another tank for you. It's going to be very, very hard to eat through that tank line, especially with Genja, who is doing, honestly, pretty well considering his start. And then you have Alex, who already has that 1 kill, 92 CS, so he's ahead of Charu here. And to be honest, he can bully him out. If he wants to, he can just ult him and kill him.
Makata maybe getting caught out. Darian in the top lane as well is going to be going low and probably going to get finished off here. There is the finisher from Kuban. Didn't really see how that one all went down in the start, but the damage was enough, and now they're pushing on to Darker in the bottom lane. He's locked up by the chain of corruption. Makler will finish him off, and that will be another one for Meet Your Makers. Really nicely done there. 2 kills on opposite sides of the map.
Gambit has to be so irritated with that, because that's the 3rd time Charu's been down there, and the 3rd time he's been able to help pick up the kill. But in the meantime, Gambit respawn, they take the middle turret, and they're not showing signs of stopping just yet.
No, they're going to keep pushing through on this one. Bottom turret may take a lot of damage from Meet Your Makers, but honestly, Makata has already seen what happens if he tries to challenge Alexic earlier on, especially since he's got that death mark available to him. There is that turret in the bottom lane, down to below half HP by the time Genja is able to get rid of those creeps. He's gone for the tier here as well, as Genja does with every champion.
Pretty much, yeah.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Even Varus will do it. Even Heimerdinger as AD, but Diamond, he came in again. He actually smited the Big Wraith away. He has a 2-level advantage right now over Makade. And he's becoming this double force as Alex going in on Charu.
Going in on Charu, that death mark going to pop here in a second. He's going to have the damage, or is he? Charu's starting to walk away. Manages to dodge the shuriken coming out, and that will be the push back here. Alexic not quite got the finishing touch. He was literally on, well, almost nothing.
Yeah, I passed it off like he's gonna get the kill. There's nothing amazing about that.
Way,
yeah,
though.
but Charu able to escape with the help of Makata right there. Fantastic job. But Alex, he's level 10 right now because he's been sticking this lane constantly as Darker. Gonna get feared here. Take a little bit of damage, but he's just trying to zone as much as possible for Meet Your Makers.
Yeah, taking, as you said, the damage with that as well. Right now it does have that sight stone in there, so getting a bit of health from that one. Always going to be much appreciated, I think, with the fact that Fiddle can feed you straight in towards the AD carry. Speaking of the AD carries, 82 to 70 CS right now. Makla with that extra kill on as well. He's doing a good job of bossing the farm in this bottom lane. But on the other side, we know what happens to Genja. Once they lose that turret, if he's behind on CS, he'll freeze up the lane and he'll get right back in it.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised that Makla doesn't have a little bit more of a lead, just because Charu's been down there so often, 3 times going for some ganks. But either way, he still has a lead. That's good. That's very good for them. Alex will be taking blue here, some extra energy regen, not to mention cooldown reduction. And Charu, who, as Seeker's arm guard pretty much saved his life right there. I'm not sure he's going to do it a second time.
That sound of Udyr, honestly. If you think it's scary now, wait until the new skin comes out, because it's going to be haunting your dreams a lot more often, I think. This time around, going to be getting himself that red buff. A lot of pink wards down, actually, on the map around the dragon area. 2 of them down for Gambit, although none of them actually directly on the dragon itself, funnily enough.
Makata, he's sticking around for a gank, so all those pink wards, none of them being used to make a gank happen. As Diamond, he's already coming around as well, so we might actually see a fight go down here. I believe mid lane was actually being fought as Charu getting knocked very low already. And that was due to Alex's ultimate. So Gambit, in the meantime, gonna go for Dragon here. As Diamond is all alone, standing on top of a ward for Meet Your Makers here, but no one's really reacting. Makai's just sticking around, but he won't be able to outsmite Diamond, who's level 9.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine so. Put that disclaimer in there. Alexic actually coming around the back now as well. So this is going to be a dragon for Gambit, but we are going to see the push going in. Charu is down on this bottom side. And where is Alex? He's actually still doing the blue buff. He's not actually joined the party. Genja right now is focusing Libic at the backside. A little bit messy, but Libic is going to die. I think it was the Arcane Shift that finished it off there for Genja as he continued to push through. Here comes Alex. They get the kill on towards Makla, and they're not done just yet. The focus comes down towards Makata. Nice stun card. Will probably save his life from that one. Makata walks away, and right now though Gambit have that turret open for the taking.
And the party was on Gambit's favor right there as all 5 people just showed up almost out of nowhere on them. Ended up picking up 2 kills, but Kuban though still left alone. He has 2 kills, 0 deaths. The nice CS advantage as well. So we talked about Kuban. If he can get a little bit fed, if he can get shut down, it'll be a good or negative obviously for Meet Your Makers. But right now, Makler's the one being shut down quite a bit. As Alex now 2-0. We saw Nutek earlier on Zed, how strong a Zed can be and how it can one-shot an AD carry like Yelpy pretty much felt that himself. And he's getting to that point where he can do that. So even if you have Kuban, who's really strong, Alex can one-shot him if he doesn't get his zoners early on, or just kill the AD carry outright.
Well, we're going to have a bit more of a quieter time now, I think, with those couple of turrets going down and the Dragon already being taken. See how that all starts to work out. Gambit's lead is there, but it's a slim one. 2,000 gold at this point. Diamond once again edges over as Charu here is dead.
Just in time for the splat. That's a satisfying sound. It really is. So that just as we talked about Alex being able to 1v1 anyone, he kills Charu outright. So that's not a good sign. Not to mention, look at that CS. Holy crap, 163 to 107. That is a huge lead because Charu's been constantly leaving, and not to mention because he can't 1v1. But Kuban, he's coming around to go for a kill on Alex, who kind of almost gets away.
Almost gets away, but not quite there. Shut down by Kuban. Hard to escape the stuns coming out from that one. It's Makla here and Libic going to be going in towards Darku. He's going to get feared, get silenced as well. That's going to delay his escape, but His escape came nonetheless. Now Darian's pushing this top lane, so I thought we might see a little bit of quiet here, but I was wrong about that one. And now Diamond's waiting off in the wings here to maybe get in on top of Kennen.
They can die this pretty easily. Look at these two tanks, but Kuban, he's very quick. We're going to see if this is going to go down, though. And Diamond, he's still sticking around at this point, but he's not committing to anything just yet. Charu is already heading towards the top side of the map, as you can see on the mini-map right now. And Michamaker still pushing his turret down. Oh, Diamond, he's going to get sandwiched here, but with that smite takes him with a big golem and walks away.
No problem. This turret at the bottom lane actually is very low, and I think that's why Meet Your Makers have been so persistent in pushing here. They want to get that one finished off. That'll put them in the lead in terms of turrets. Not going to take that much, really, to finish that one off, as we see the Silence just darting around there. That Dark Wind causing them a few little issues, but not too much, especially not now as Alex Ich is coming around this side. He's going to be sniffing with that death mark available once again. And, you know, Fiddlesticks, Varus, it doesn't matter which one of them, they'll both die if Alex goes in.
Yeah, so easily for him as well. The thing is, Kade actually was invading the jungle of Gambit, but he's level 9. He's been able to keep up with Diamond a little bit there in terms of Diamond's only level 10, but with an Alex roaming around like that, he's very brave. Alex can go in on Charu again.
This is going to be a big push for him. Is he going to be able to stay alive this time? No, he's not. There's that good old satisfying splat if you're a Gambit fan or player, I suppose. And Charu goes down again, and that's just going to allow even more free farm for Alex, not to mention the fact that he's up at 4-1-0. That Blade of the Ruin King already done. Now comes the bear down to this bottom lane. Let's see if Makler and Libit can get away. And in the end, Diamond decides not to go in under the turret.
And look at Alex. He's pushed up that far with only one ward towards the top side. And that's because I believe Diamond put that down just to give him a little bit of vision. He's not really scared of anyone just yet. And Charu, he stopped building towards his Zonia. He built a Sheen. He's trying to go for maybe his Lich Bane as his next item. And then you see Kuba on the top lane has his as well. But he almost has the money to finish it off into that Zonias, which he's, well, as you can tell, obviously really going to need at this point.
Yeah, without a doubt needs that one. Stop that damage coming down from Alex. We said it last season as well, the likes of Zed and Kha'Zix are just where he really feels at home. The burst ability, the assassin champions, are really where he excels, and proving that once again.
And the thing is, I mean, they have such a wide champion pool, you can't ban him out.
I say that, but at the same time, his win rate and his performances with the likes of Orianna, for example, a bit more of a traditional AP carry, I guess we could say, is fantastic as well. So where do you go when it comes to bans for this man?
I don't think you do. You just try to hope that your mid laner doesn't feed him too many kills. But that's obviously what has been happening in this game, and he's still roaming around. And Makade, he doesn't have boots of mobility just yet, which I'm a little bit surprised to not see on him, considering Nautilus. You want to get around that map really quickly, especially when you're against an Udyr who's really fast throughout the jungle. You need to keep up with him, but Kuban, he's heading down his bottom here. You realize that he needs to help his team out as Charu's sitting top against Darian.
Yeah. I don't think that Darian will have too many problems with dealing with Charu up there, as we are going to see Makler. Deathmark comes in onto him there. It's going to do a decent little bit of damage to him, as we are going to see Kuban coming in from the side as well. He can't quite land the Shuriken in there. And Meet Your Makers, as I said it before, they really want this turret.
I think they're going to get this time, though.
There we go. Just tank it up. Get rid of it.
And I was actually looking at Genji on the map. He was pushing middle, just ults the wave instead and backs away. And taking a look, top laners, even though Darian's died twice, he's still even in farm. Obviously doesn't have the 3 kills that he has, but Dragon will be up in about 15 seconds. We see in the jungle a little bit of a lead for Diamond. In the mid lane, still a 60 CS advantage for Alex, and Genji, who was ahead 10 early on, fell behind 20, is now even with his counterpart.
Now even. Look at the items, Bloodthirst and that tier stacking up for Genji. On the other side, Blade of the Ruin King is going to be done for Makler. See what roles they're going to be playing this next fight. Darian going full-on tanky here. Got that Warmogs already in there. With the Merc Treads and that Doran's Shield. Obviously more damage for Kuban's side of things. He's close to having that Zhonya's done.
And when that happens, I wonder if Meet Your Makers are going to try to go for some team fighting here, because again, it has a very strong, very tanky lineup with Thresh, with Udyr, and with Shen. But it's really hard to get in the backline against Genji, who has Arcane Shift and Flash to get away. But in the meantime, Dragon being started up here. They're staying on top of a ward, and they actually might be baiting Meet Your Makers in for a fight.
Well, it's down to half HP right now. Shen, of course, can get involved. Twisted Fate in the top lane can as well because he's got teleporters. We are going to see them going. Libic going to get popped down here as the box goes down. There is a chain of corruption, and the damage is good here for Meteor Makers. They've already taken down Darker. There's the Fiddlesticks ultimate coming in. Alex Itch has died at the backside. Let's see if they can get on towards Diamond as well on the bottom side. Twisted Fate is there. He's going to try and finish off Genja. Not sure if he can actually win this fight right now. Maybe that Seeker's Arm Guard with the armor is going to be enough for him. A stun goes down. There is the fear as well. He's getting his life sucked away from him. And he's going to survive it there. Flashes away from the backside. Oh, here comes Destiny. And he is a dead man.
Oh,
Crazy.
Man, that was so close for him. And I guarantee when Libic was fearing him, it sounded to me, he's like, come on, let me have control of my character for 1 second, please. As the rest of Meteor Makers, though, are going to push this middle turret, getting 3 kills, 0 deaths. A little bit surprising considering how fed Alex was, but that exhaust coming out of Libic was so perfect. Not to mention the stun that came out of Kuban right after that. It just locked him down, and he just died.
Yeah, that exhaust is, I think, going to be crucial as well coming in. I mean, that's got to find its way onto Alex's head once they start to get into these team fights. Again, if you look at the gold, there's not really that much of a difference between them. If you look individually, Alex is 1,300 up, but you can expect that when he's closing in towards 100 gold, 100 CS difference here before long if Charu's not careful. 80 carries, Makler still has the advantage there. He's got more kills, more assists, and the same amount of deaths as well. And is currently 1,000 almost ahead of that one as well. So, still really close stuff, and we've seen that these fights can still go either way. I think once these Zhonya's actually get finished across the board for the Twisted Fate, and obviously Ken already got his, I think it changes a little bit there.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you look at where the kills are, they're both funneled really into 2 champions, one on each side, Alex and Kuban. So it's basically who can kill each other, who can kill the Alex first, or who can kill Kuban first, because that'll pretty much determine if you're going to win the game when you have, Genja pretty much tied up with Makler. So it just comes down to who can burst the other one first, and considering you have a Zonas on Kuban and he's actually chasing Alex down, it should be him.
Yeah, we see him going in on towards Kuban here. Alex is going to be under all kinds of pressure here because Zhonya's was used, but Kuban didn't have the damage to finish things off himself, so a bit of an awkward trade in the end.
We do have Darker coming in. I'm not sure they can actually pick up this kill. Makate's waiting on the side, though, so he should be able to turn this around with that ultimate. Instead, no fight really goes down, and it looks like Darian and Char are getting to know each other pretty well as they keep constantly going head-to-head in lane.
And Alex is going to be backing away from that one. Kuban here just waiting and hoping that he might get a chance on something from that, but that won't present itself. That middle lane is pushed out there as well. Meteor Makers got all 3 outer turrets down right now, and they've started to get a few wards out. You can actually see a 2-man team going through the bottom side of that Gambit jungle to get those wards in position. So they're trying to get that vision control that they so love to have.
Oh, Darren, you might be in trouble here. Makler and Libic are on the sides to come in.
Yeah, they are going to come in for this one. The stun card did come down from Charu. Darren's actually doing good damage here on towards him, but now that the rest of the team are there, that could be a little bit different as Destiny is going to get popped. Charu going to come in on that top side. The turret's hitting him here as well, and it's just a case of when this one gets finished, it's Makler that gets him as he flashes over the wall.
Oh, I was watching on that minimap. I was like, come on, let's see if it happens, but Darren, that's the tankiest member of their team. It took 3 members of Meteor Makers to deal with him, and through that, Charu actually almost died himself. Diamond still counter-jungling away, has 120 CS, so pretty good on his part. But the thing is, if Gambit keeps getting caught out like this, like Alex was top just previously, Darren now bottom, and Meteor Makers are just slowly picking up kills and slowly starting to pick up an advantage.
Yeah, and that Zhonya's now is a step closer, needlessly large rod added in for Charu. Really interested to see how a big team fight goes once that is in there, and if Meteor Makers will be feeling more confident with going for that one, as Alex again is looking for Kuban. And the funny thing is, they've got roughly the same health here. The problem is who really gets the bounce on each other, I guess we can say, from that one. And the timing of the Zhonya's obviously has got to be bang on the mark. Makler is still pushing this bottom lane. Gambit going to try and come around here, but they need to be careful. They've got Makata and Libic both on the top side. In the end, they just walk around, and Makler says, right, then I better get out of here as well then.
And a little bit surprised how relatively slow this game is. I mean, considering when we saw them play a little bit earlier against Alternate, that was just fast-paced, constant action. But this game, it's just a little bit more calculated on their part. They're just taking their time here, not trying to, throw away anything just yet. But Meteor Makers are doing a great job of, they weren't in control previously. We always talk about that fact for them. but they were able to kind of get back in the game, take the gold lead for the first time for themselves, and they still kept a little bit part of their old strategy in terms of being very aggressive with their wars. They have so many down right now, and you see Gambit's response to that with 3 or 4 of their own. So if Charu ever does teleport in, they're most likely going to be able to spot it. And then again, Charu's just pretty much been sitting at bottom lane right now, just trying to push it out, just trying to go head-to-head against Darien.
Yeah, it does have that Zhonya's Hourglass now finished up. And Dragon is going to be coming up in less than a minute here as Kuban actually going a bit aggressive there onto Alex, but look at that, Diamond is in that brush on the top side, and that would certainly change the swing of any fight that were to happen in this top lane. Libic is waiting off to the side as well. He does have flash, and he has that exhaust that we talked about earlier on, which could be vital for him. Charu actually trying to stop Darien, but he's just not got the damage really to even try to kill him. He could try and force him away, but Darien's probably just going to keep coming back for more in true Shen style.
His like way of stopping him he wasn't harassing him, it was killing the minions around him, because that turret's going to do more than he'll do in the end. We do have a slight pause coming out though, and like I said before, a relatively slow game, but in terms of how much CS has gone through, Alex 270 to the now 190 for Charu, so he's been actually able to free farm quite a bit bottom lane against Darien, but his turret was very low already at that point. It could go down really soon, so it looks like Darien's the one with a little bit of problems here. And obviously, we'll find out in a couple of seconds, let you guys know what's happening.
Yeah, we do have the admins in there behind Gambit. See if they can figure out exactly what the problem is right now with Darien. Yeah, seems to be furiously alt-tabbing out and in of his game there, so hopefully that'll be fixed in just a couple of moments right now. But it gives us a chance to look at where we are in this game. We're approaching the 30-minute mark. Gold is just 400 the difference at this point, which is pretty close, to say the least. 11-8 in kills, but as you said, Kuban on this Kennen, 5-0-1 right now. He's a juicy target for Gambit, and we've seen Alex trying to get that bonus away from him.
And when he tried, he almost failed as well. So, I mean, Kuban, he's able to hold his own against Alex, but for how much longer? Or for how much longer is Alex going to be able to survive against him? It just all comes down to who's going to get the items a little bit quicker, and who's going to have the summers available. This game, I'm really trying to think, where's it really going to come down to? Like, what's the next big point for these fights to break out? And as we see Kuban heading down towards Dragon, that actually might be it.
That may well just be it. Now spawned, of course, as Makata sits there with his anchor. Pink ward goes down, revealing no vision as Diamond just sidesteps the anchor there coming through. And Meteor Makers are going to be starting off the Dragon. Actually, Shen going home does have Stand United, so that's not too big of a deal on this front.
Look how quick it's going down. I mean, with no one else in Gambit position, it's just going to be Diamond trying to steal it away. As he does it, he heads over towards middle, and they wanted to go for a push on this turret to get it a little bit lower, as it already was pushed previously by those two, Alex and him. In the meantime, they just back away. They're like, all right, we're going to give that up. We're going to go back to farming up a little bit. But hopefully we'll get something to happen relatively soon, because it's at that point where people have their core items. As Diamond going to get caught here.
Oh, he's going to get caught here, but are they going to be able to finish him off? He's pretty tanky. And actually, Charu coming in on towards Darker here at the back. The box goes down. That might stop them chasing through, as Libic actually going to get slowed, I think, by the final wall there. Chain of Corruption will miss as well. And MYM have thrown so much at that one, and in the end got nothing for it.
Yeah, they couldn't catch the berry. I mean, he's just too fast. I mean, with that bear stance. And unfortunately, Meteor Maker's committing so much. Look at their ult taps. 3 ultimates off of that. Libic got shut down by Darker's box. You saw Charu got obviously a stunt on a Darker, but he's just so tanky that he can't, one-shot him just yet. And then Mackler, unfortunately for him, is Chain of Corruption just skimming the backside of Diamond right there. So that might be the key for Gambit to actually go in, where they didn't even use Stand United. Keep that in mind. They didn't even have to use that to escape that.
Right now, we are approaching 100.
Oh, Libic, you're dead.
Oh, Libic's going to get killed here. He's going to get splattered here in a second, as Alexic will try and get away from this one. He's going to get hit by the depth charge. Are they going to be able to finish him off? He'll flash backwards. Kuban flash. Zhonya's in there as well. Darien actually coming around the side here, and look at the damage he's putting out on towards Kuban. He may pay the price for it with his life from this, as well as he gets slowed and finished off by Mackler.
Darker does a lantern a little bit too late. Wasn't in the right position, but they did say, well, I was about to say they saved Alex, as he's actually going to die here instead.
Yeah, really strong dredge line coming out there from Makata. Alex maybe staying a little bit too late with that one. That will be 2 kills in a row coming out for Meteor Makers. Well, the gold is still staying even, but those kills starting to be spread more around the team here. We see, 1 in there for Makata, his first of the game. Now up to 5 for Mackler, and that spread is looking really, really nice for them. And the problem is, if Alex can't get kills onto more than the support there. I mean, it is a big kill onto the support, don't get me wrong with that one, but they probably need more from it, as we are going to see Darker getting locked up here. He's not going to escape. It's Charu that finishes off with a red card. Diamond coming in from around the side, but he needs to be a little bit careful of his own here. Actually, Blade of the Ruin King was used onto him. He gets stunned up here, and he's finished off by the wild cards of Charu.
So we talked about it earlier about the Udyr pick, where I think it was me specifically that said it, like, I don't really favor it. I don't know if you agreed or not, but just because the amount of CC you're up against, like, you're not going to move anywhere. And you saw right there at the end, he just got slowed by well, he got slowed by Nautilus, he got stunned constantly by the gold cards, he got feared, he got silenced, he just could not run away, as we do see Zed going in.
Going in on towards Makler this time around. Is he going to have the damage to finish him off? Makler will finally go down. It's Darian that picks up that kill as Alex tries to escape. Genja actually coming in from the side here as well. Alex will be finished off by Kuban. They turn around now and try to get over to the other side. Genja didn't really have what it took to stand and bang with Charu. And that will be another kill picked up here for Meteor Makers. They lost Makler though.
And they're actually pinging out on Baron right now, though. Pretty sure they can't do it. Yeah, looks like Makai's just going to walk away instead. And I think this is probably the biggest gold lead we've had this game so far, but I know it's biggest for Meteor Makers, as items are still coming in left and right for them. We see Alex actually heading towards a GA with that chain vest. But he's still, I mean, he wasn't able to fully burst down Makler, obviously because he was CC'd a little bit, but if that's the person you're bursting down when you have Kuban this strong, I mean, that's not the target you need to kill. It has to be Kuban. And with that Zonius, he just can't.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's a catch-22 that they need to kill him, but he can dodge all the damage from Alex's ultimate, which is a lot of damage. That goes without saying there. So it's a bit of a predicament here for Gambit to be in. Charu going to get himself that red buff. Sorry, blue buff. Red buff's never spawned there.
I'm thinking back to last week when Meteor Makers had Charu on Twisted Fate, had Makade on Nautilus, where it was like 50-something minutes long. There was like three Barons taken from Meteor Makers, and we talked to Makade after, or Shox did in the interview. He said it was at that point in the game where if one person gets caught, they get blown up right away. And I'm curious, are they going to let the game get on to that point where even with the Zonias, you probably can't survive if you get stunned and taunted?
Diamond's going to get pulled in here. We'll get back to that in a second. Or now, because he's got away, because he is, of course. Udyr switches out to Bear and walks off from that. And yeah, that's what you got to wonder, because they're in, right now, they're in a position where they got two Zonias, and they can completely negate that Zed damage onto two of their big champions. There's a Quicksilver Sash coming out there for Makler as well, which is certainly going to help in some respects as well when it comes to those team fights. So you got to wonder if now is the time for Meteor Makers, and the longer it goes on, the worse it might get for them overall. And
yeah, the thing is, like, Alex, so he can't kill Kuban, he can't kill Charu, but with the Quicksilver Sash, he can't kill Makler himself anymore because you can cleanse off the ultimate. So it's pretty much, his damage has become low. Like, he cannot kill anyone except the support, and maybe Makade, actually, because he does have a Last Whisper, but in the end, that's not the person you need to kill this time. It doesn't care about Libic attacking him.
No.
But it's coming to that point where, I mean, Alex had such a strong lead, but because of Kuban, you know, pretty much gaining his own lead himself and not being interfered with by Alex, he was able to get the Zonias out quick enough.
We see that Ezreal getting strong here as well. Last Whisper, Muramana now in on top of that Bloodthirster. On the other side, like you said, Quicksilver Sash, you know, that side, that's a big item overall, as we are going to see Kuban getting engaged upon, but look at the damage he puts there on towards Alex. The Deathmark going to do absolutely nothing, and right now Charu has teleported in. He's going to Destiny down onto the bottom side. Either way, it's going to be a dead Alex. It's Kuban that gets a kill. 7-0-2. Talked about Kuban and, you know, how Elise is going to be a big thing for him, but this time he's doing well with that Ezreal as well. Diamond right now on top of Libic. He's going to be focused down. Genja doing good amounts of damage. Chain of Corruption will actually start spreading through the team as Darian's taunt not quite landing, but they can't really turn around and do much to him.
And in the meantime, Charu with that Lich Bane, he's just split pushing. He's going to get this turret relatively low. I think it was Meteor Makers, they kind of wanted to go for Baron off of that kill, but then since they lost Libic, they backed off. But now he's able to get a free turret off of that. So they got one kill. They lost one person just to support, though, and a turret on top of that. Now Dragon's being pinged up.
Yeah, Dragon being pinged. That's spawned and available now for them. And 3 men going to go down there. That's not going to last long, especially Makata has that smite there as well to be finishing that one off. We did see Charu actually walking away. It looked like Darian was going to try and come down to him. Didn't in the end. Here we go then. He's picked up there by Meteor Makers as they drag Diamond into this one. There are 4 men there though from Gambit, so they need to be careful here, Meteor Makers. Darian at the front line can't quite get in there to land a clutch taunt and actually use the Shadow Dash to get away. Darker going to be pinned down here, though, on that backside. Going to find it hard to get away from the likes of Nautilus, but does via the box in there. Now it's Darian that gets stunned up. True Shot Barrage comes over. Makler going very low, and now Alex Ich getting into the fight as well. Makata very low. Makler will die. Makata will die. There's the stun cards coming out of Charu, but they managed to follow in. It's a double kill coming down. 2 men left up here for Meet Your Makers. They're going to have to flash off as well. And Gambit with a great fight there that was... Meet Your Makers kind of dripped into that fight one by one and made it easier for Gambit.
And we always talk about with Gambit, if you give them a finger, they'll take your whole arm. That honestly might have been the mistake that Meet Your Makers made, or just a great play out of Gambit to pretty much turn the game around for them, because they're going to get Baron off of this, unless I believe Livik is the only one around the vicinity to kind of steal it away. And with that, they should be able to push, should be able to get inhibitor to it, because they have a tanky enough front line that they can just sit there and siege turrets down.
Well, Fiddlesticks with a jumping Baron Pit would be a spectacular way to steal it, but he's not got his ultimate available anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So yeah, Baron going over here towards Gambit. Funnily enough, still behind in gold right now, although, you know, the turrets and that Twisted Fate passive, again, we talked about it earlier, going to have a big say in things.
Do you see how much Genja gold was sitting on? Gold is on Genja, 3,000. Either he's going to go GA, pretty much full out buy one, or he's going to just go for a little bit more damage on top of that, but I think he can afford to go for the damage. As we're going to see him actually pick up a Banshee's Veil, so he doesn't want to get stunned up by Kuban, he doesn't want to get stunned by Char or even Makata, who can knock him up. It's a really smart item.
Right now Alex is trying to push out this top lane. Pretty low is that turret right now. In the end decides, I'm going to back away from this one. He's got a Zhonya's, chances of me killing, gotta hate it when that happens. The stray wild card just coming through, and actually looks like Alex is going to go for the turret after all that, and now he goes in towards Charu, who is going to use that Zhonya's, and now all of a sudden Alex finds himself in a little bit of danger. Charu going very low here from Darian at the backside. The stun card comes onto him, and he's now chasing in. Is he going to be able to land the final shot? Charu is... it dies to the Sunfire Cape in the end that got in range of him. Gets feared back towards their turret, but look how tanky he is, and there's a lantern over the wall. Dark are going to bring him to safety. Now Gambit are going to try and push through onto this in-him turret.
And they have Charu down, so I mean, it's only up to Kuban to really defend it here, and they're just going to face take it. They don't have minions, they're actually a long ways away, but with the damage to take hits out of them, they take that down, they're going to take an inhibitor. And keep in mind, they had Baron. Yeah, they have it still.
They still have Baron, yeah, that's going to be regenning them up there as, see, the silence going to be knocking through Gambit, but they will be backing off from that one anyway. So, you know, a death for Alex Ich in that top lane. Committed to it there, did Meet Your Makers. He didn't die.
He didn't even die.
Did he back away?
Yeah, they let him run away.
Okay.
So no deaths, got an inhibitor off of it.
There you go then.
I know, I was amazed at you where I was like, watch, I was like, really? They're not going to go for a kill on him? And it ended up happening that way. So now he has a GA available. And they're going to get a second inhibitor
gets
turret.
Away, and they get the inhibitor turret here, and it's going to be another one for them as we see him going on towards Livik. That death mark is going to finish off Livik because the True Shot Barrage from Genja comes in to maybe try and finish that one off, but they go now on towards Makler. The hook lands onto Charu. In comes the box from Darker. Not quite got what it takes to finish off as Alex goes in to try to get the finisher. They do finish him off. It's Darker that gets that one. Alex is actually going to be hit underneath the turret. Goes back, picks up the lantern, and once again will survive. Of course, he does have GA now to get himself, or he wouldn't have died anyway because of that Guardian Angel, but either way, fantastic play out of Gambit once again.
Just like that, they turned what was pretty much a stale game or a game for Meet Your Makers where they easily could have, you know, won these team fights into 2 inhibitors for themselves. Like, that is just ridiculous play out of Gambit, just for overall knowledge, knowing their limits, and making plays happen. And Meet Your Makers, they have to be kicking themselves right now. Like, what do they do to kind of stop Gambit now? And the thing is, Alex with the GA, it's pretty much like the same thing as Kuban or Chara getting a Zhonya's. It's going to have a reset button for him. But the thing is, he's going to pop back up with full health, and the Zhonya's only last so long.
Yeah, that's a big problem that they might have with this one. We see Spirit Visage added in there for Udyr. There's 2 runic bulwarks on their side at this point. See, that Negatron Cloak and the Zeal sat there for Darian, who we've already seen is pretty much unkillable at this time anyway. I mean, the GA might not even be needed by him.
I think actually with the Baron buff still on them for quite a long time, they might actually go for the finish here, or at least take the 3rd inhibitor, because they're all heading up towards that top side of the map. And they're warding everything up here, and Meet Your Makers, they're going to have to go for an engage. They need to push the lanes out as far as possible, but with Gambit pretty much knocking out your front door on the top side, they can't really afford to do that anymore.
Well, Diamond Smashing through. Darker going to be clearing out the wards that were just put into position there by Meet Your Makers. And Darian's there at the front, and talking about tanky front lines, he doesn't get much tankier than this Shen and that Udyr as well, as we are going to see Destiny pop. They pull Diamond in for this one, but it could work out badly for them. Charu actually is going to get initiated on by Alex Itchy, who's right at the back. Shen going to be coming in for that shield up as well, as Darian gets feared and then Shadow dashes away from that one. They've taken the inner turret while all that was going on. Again, capitalizing on every little thing that happens here, Gambit.
3-4 members chase down Alex. He ends up getting away with the help of the Shen ultimate. Take a turret right off the back of it. So, I mean, Gambit, they should have a decent amount of money to spend. Wow, Genja, when does he not have over 2,000 gold to spend when he backs away? He's sitting on 2,500, even have Darian with 1,200, so he's going to be going for, it looks like that Triforce, which he typically likes to go. And they're just taking everything away from the jungle now as they back out. Gonna buy up, gonna probably actually wait for this next Baron. I don't know, Gambit's typically not the team that would wait for another Baron to finish the game out, but we'll see if that's actually gonna happen.
They're at least gonna be taking this Dragon. Every bit of gold extra that they can have, as Alex going to get feared in here on towards Libic. Where's he going to go? In on towards Charu. There's the exhaust coming down. That's going to hinder him a little bit, but he's got that GA. He's going to be coming back up here in just a second. There's the Lantern, and he manages to get back, and there's the rest of Gambit. Makata now the one in trouble. Libic going to dive over into the rest of the team. There is Kubon as well. He's putting down good damage, uses the Zhonya's. Can they actually lock him up afterwards? Darker here, going to get spread to by that chain of corruption to lock him down. Darian is finally going low, but still survives as Charu comes in there with those home guards on the teleport onto that pink ward. Genja fancies his chances here in a 1v1, and in the end, that's just a 1-for-1, and he's not over just yet. Charu going to be using that Zhonya's hourglass, and he is going to go down. Darian does die in the end.
Crazy stuff, Joe. I mean, that was all started with Alex diving in really far towards the top side, and he pretty much knew his team was there. The Lantern coming out darker was just fantastic. Unfortunately, he ended up going back in anyways onto Kubon while he was ulting and ended up dying, but still 2 inhibitors down. Baron will be up in about 40 seconds here, and I mean, Genja, he's actually has a relatively long death timer, but they're going to be here for Baron and be able to pick it up really quickly unless Meet Your Makers tries to go for it.
Well, we are 42.5 minutes into this game right now, and it's 2019 in kills to MYM. There's 2,500 gold that separates the two teams. That's not a big lead right now for Gambit. It is a little bit skewed, we said it earlier, because of that Twisted Fate and what have you, but the fact is that if one thing goes wrong here for Gambit with these spawn timers, they might have a bit of trouble on their hands.
Definitely might, and we actually have Kubon pick up a Liandry's Torment, so he's gonna have a little bit more damage. It helps. It really helps against tanky targets like Darian, like Diamond. So they'll be able to do a little bit more to them. But Baron is available. They do have an Oracle on a Darker, and the thing is, like I said before, I don't know if they're gonna go for a second Baron to finish the game, or they're just gonna finish it. And well, the way they're setting up, they're not gonna go for the Baron. They're just gonna go for the push to win.
Blue buff just been taken away there by Alex Itch. Said the announcer. That inhibitor is going to be coming up here in just a few moments. So MYM will finally have that stream of super minions in the mid and bottom lane stopped, which may give them a bit of respite. Or it may not, because Gambit might just come straight back in there and finish off those two open inhibitors again.
Look where Alex is currently standing. He's waiting for pretty much Char to come for his own blue buff here, but it's not going to happen. He's letting that one pretty much just go away, and he wanted to pick up that one kill. The one kill, all they needed to pretty much have a 5-on-4 and to be able to finish this game out. Still, you see, actually, wow. Double Black Cleavers picked up for Gambit. So Alex, he's given not only the armor shred to himself, he's given it over to Genja, and they do stack on top of each other, so it's going to be very, very dangerous. Do you see Twist Fate Ultimate coming in? Not really going anywhere, just to kind of get some vision.
Yeah, just to get the vision of where Gambit are, what Gambit are doing with that Baron back in play. But the wards have been taken away right now, so with that Destiny down, it actually hinders Meet Your Makers at this point, as we are going to see Makata face check straight in on top of them. Not really the target they want to go for, though, as Libic is going to get pulled in there by the hook. The True Shot Barrage comes across. Libic not going to escape. Darker gets that kill, and that's going to open the floodgates here for Gambit.
That's going to at least be both inhibitors, and actually might be the game. I'm not sure if they're going to go for that third top turret at the top side of the map, but as I said, Alex is going to go up there and split push it himself, and Livik, I mean, he wasn't offering too much in these fights, but he obviously wasn't doing nothing because the fear and the silence is Darien already getting very low here. That's to be very careful. Alex still coming in from the side. He's trying to go straight for Mackler or even Charu here, but Future Makers, they need to just hold on as long as possible.
Presence of Alex Hitch alone there has won them that inhibitor. Meteor Makers didn't want to get involved in it as a stun card comes out. Alex Hitch already pretty far away from things. The minions were bearing down onto that inhibitor turret as well. They almost lost that, but crucially, they've held it here, which still means that not all three are down, and that's when, you know, it just becomes almost impossible to hold with those super minions coming through. Baron, though, is going to be the target here for Gambit. Can't see what Meteor Makers can do to stop that. Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, you have two inhibitors down, so you have the two floodgates of the super minions coming in, but can you stop a Baroned up Gambit when you've already had a hard enough time pretty much beating them without it? That will be all 5 members, most importantly for them, that have it. And they're going to back out, going to buy up a little bit, and go for that last push. It's Darien, 3,000 gold he's sitting on. So that Triforce is definitely going to be done. Also 1,000 gold on the rest of the members of Gambit. So if they weren't strong enough before, they're even stronger now. And it comes down to, can Meteor Makers really just control them? Can they hold them down, pick up the kills where they need to? And with Alex Hitch's GA coming up in a couple of seconds, I don't think they have it.
If you look down, there's an Aegis now on Darker as well. So 2 Runic Bulwarks and an Aegis. They've got Locket of the Iron Solara here, of course, done for Darker as well. Money coming out their ears at this point, Gambit. Can they finish off? Kuban and Livik here trying to stop Gambit from getting in onto that final turret outside of the Nexus. But with Darien there at the front, not sure they're going to be able to do that. We already seen how much damage he can put down. That's before that Trinity Force was actually finished for him. So he's not just a beastly tank. He can put down a lot of good damage as well once he gets in there.
Yes, he can, and that's what's really scary for pretty much Mackler, is he can't be in a position for this to happen, as Diamond's gonna get pulled in, so is Darien. They're just sitting there as a front line. Diamond actually gets relatively low.
Yeah, good damage coming out there onto the Udyr. Darien himself is down to half, which means that the 2 tanky members are not in the healthiest position. Of course, they can just wait it out a little bit here with that Baron buff running on for them to get that regen up, but Gambit are really struggling to get those last couple of hits onto that final inhibitor turret. And Alex Hitch is pushing though.
Exactly, so he's keeping the waves pushed up. He's forcing sort of Meteor Makers to back away, and from that, Gambit should be able to take that last turret down and take inhibitor as well. And just like you said, the presence of Alex is just scaring away Meteor Makers, as Charo doesn't even want to get relatively close to him. And even with that good chunk of damage they did to Gambit, look at their health now. Pretty much almost fully healed up because of that Baron buff. And Meteor Makers has to do that all over again.
So here we go, gonna get in on towards the turret, finished off here. Are they gonna go for the fight now? They go in towards Makata. Alex Hitch has gone in on towards Livik. He's gonna not quite get away. True Shot Barrage caught him in the end. Kubon is right on top of Genja. He pops his Zonya's Hourglass. He's gonna go down from that one. They've killed off Nautilus. It's now all on Charu. Alex Hitch looking like he wants to try and get a kill at the end. Gonna get his GA popped, and Charu is gonna fight head to head here with Genja right on top of the fountain. Gets a stun card in there. The shield keeping him alive, but the Nexus turrets have gone down. There was the kill in the end as the hook actually lands, and Gambit, after 48 minutes, gonna take down Meteor Makers.